Nope. Yep. Nope.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of DFV. I am Blak Cinephile, aka Anthony.
I am Brad, also known as aka Brad.
Yeah, not just Brad. You call him aka Brad when you see him.
AKA
Absolutely.
Brad.
Definitely. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on, anywhere podcast is available. Well, most places podcasts are available. We're on Instagram and Twitter. We're on Facebook. We'll have all that information up. But today we got a special one, half nostalgia for me, half new movie that came out in theaters. We're comparing the two Jurassic Park trilogy enders. Is that the way we described it? How about the two Jurassic conclusions? That sounds better.
When I first was thinking this, I was thinking the Jurassic closers.
There you go.
So
we got, okay, I got you. So we got Jurassic Park 3 versus the newest film, Jurassic World Dominion.
Yes. So obviously with this one, I think it makes the most sense for us to go chronological.
You think so?
I'm thinking so, because in order for Jurassic World Dominion to fall over and stumble down the stairs, Jurassic Park 3 had to walk. So
that's a good one. All right, man. So we're gonna start it off with Jurassic Park 3. I'll take this one over.
Okay.
If you don't mind, sir. All right. So in this one, we have paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill, who runs into this divorced couple, played by William H. Macy and T. Leone. They ask him to come on an expedition with them as they fly over Jurassic Park, correct?
This is over Isle Sorna. So in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies, there's two islands. There's Isle Nublar, which is where Jurassic Park was, where the theme park was. Isla Sorna was basically just an experimental park where they kind of stored dinosaurs and did tests and ran that kind of stuff. And then those dinosaurs would be transferred to the park in theory so they could actually open up the attraction. That way they had like a, backup set of dinosaurs in case something happened to the ones at the park.
Right. So with this film, they offer him a lot of money for his research, because we know he loves his research. That's part of his life. And they say, look, we'll pay you handsomely if you go on this expedition with us. And so he agrees. He brings his I forgot what Billy was. His assistant. He brings his assistant Billy with him. Alessandro Nivola is the actor's name. And soon enough, he realizes, wait a minute, this isn't just the expedition here. They want to land on this island for some reason. And then he realizes that their son, who we see in kind of like the prologue in the beginning of the film, is missing there, along with his mom's boyfriend. So from that point on, they're trying to survive and at the same time find her son, and if he's still alive, the mom's boyfriend. But spoiler alert here, folks. We're all about spoilers. The boyfriend's dead. But that's basically the bare bones plot of this. I gotta be honest, man. Out of all the Jurassic Park films, this is probably my favorite.
So this one, I had to disagree with you on that one, but
the first one is good. I haven't seen the first one in a long time, but go ahead.
Yeah, for this movie, doing the rewatch of it, I actually did enjoy this one more than I remember enjoying it before. Because before, I think we were kind of looking at, you have Jurassic Park, which is a classic. Then you have the follow-up World or Jurassic Lost World, which was a really good movie if you wanted to see a lot of dinosaurs and people actually getting hurt by said dinosaurs. Like that movie was good in terms of like, you don't know what's coming next. Jurassic Park 3 kind of took that away because we were basically given, Alan Grant, the Kirbys, and his assistant Billy were like the only people that were on this island. So there wasn't really much fodder beyond the pilot and then the two mercenaries who die very early in the movie.
But see, I like that though. I like that from a storytelling aspect because it keeps everything closed in. It's like when you watch a show that has a bottle episode and everything is kind of closed in between a certain amount of characters. Like for Breaking Bad, it will probably be Fly. You know, when they were both stuck, when they were both in that lab trying to kill the fly. I look at Jurassic Park 3 as a bottle film, but it's a bottle film that works. They're in a closed world, and the tensions are high because the only experienced person there is Alan Grant. Billy's not even that experienced. Alan has the most experience. The mercenaries.
Yeah, Billy's more or less an intern as a paleontologist. Alan Grant is the only person that's actually seen these dinosaurs before, having been in the original Jurassic Park before it opened.
Right, and the mercenaries dead, man. Even the one guy, what he said, hey, you're not really a hunter, are you? No, I'm a travel agent. What did the guy say? Something funny. Like he's the only experienced person there, so I like how the stakes are raised. This film is nostalgia for me, man. I remember seeing this in theaters when I was 8 years old, and as we know, the films we love as kids, we may not enjoy that much as adults. But I gotta say, man, this film kept my attention. Like it really gets straight to the point. You know, we see in the beginning, we see Alan hanging out with Ellie. You know, she's married now with kids. He doesn't seem bitter. You know, they're good friends, and we see where he's been over time, and then we just cut straight into the action, man, and I love it.
This movie does a good part in keeping the action and the tension very high at all times, because yes, they're on this island with dinosaurs and everything, but there's really no safety net for them anywhere. There's no camp for them to go back to.
Right.
There's no place for them to be able to get away from the dinosaurs. They basically are on this island full of monsters that are constantly trying to kill them. And especially the Spinosaurus and everything, is a great kind of new villain to put up, prior to like the T-Rex and everything.
Yeah. I like this film for the same reason I like Terminator Salvation. Does it pale in comparison to earlier Terminator films? Yes. But I like the creativity that what's his name? MCG put into Salvation. Like I like what Joe Johnston puts into this film as a director. Like, I like seeing the new dinosaurs. I just like the whole jungle location. It gives me a Predator feel. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. If there's danger at every turn, there's no safety. Literally anything can happen. That's where this movie thrives. And when it's in that environment, it's absolutely perfect. I love like when they go into the aerial kind of cage where I know they're not pterodactyls, but the pterodactyl-like dinosaurs.
The bird cage. Yeah.
The bird cage. I love that because that's the first time we got to see those in a Jurassic Park kind of movie. Prior to this, we kind of just knew that they were around because I want to say that Hammond mentions them in the first movie, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
what was I gonna say, dude? For its time, for a movie that came out in 2001, special effects are pretty solid in this movie.
Yeah, the Jurassic Park trilogy as a whole still stands up pretty well today in terms of its use of CG and special effects and everything. I think that stands for all three of the original Jurassic Park movies. They still look beautiful, even in 4K today. They look absolutely beautiful.
I was gonna say something. I like some of the they may not be too memorable, but I like some of the gags throughout this movie. Like I like how when they're first on the plane, my man asked the mercenary behind him, like, how do you know such and such? How do you know Paul and Amanda? And he's like, oh, we go to church together.
Oh yeah.
we met at church. I'm like, come on, man. But I like how straight-faced he is about it. I love, they always show this in Jurassic Park. I love when they're in their airplane, you see the dinosaurs just flourishing around, enjoying nature. It's always a beautiful sight. And then the music, the da 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 da,
Yeah. Yeah, that song is ruined for me though, because whenever I hear it now, I just hear the kazoo, like terrible, low budget version.
You talking about the video? Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that video. That video makes me it's so, you know what's disturbing about that video? It feels like it could have been directed by David Lynch, because when he gets into the kazoo, you got the close up on Sam Neill and Laura Dern's faces.
Yeah.
And it just looks very scary compared to inspiring when it was in the original movie.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely love it though. But yeah, this movie, it has a couple jokes. It has some weird moments, like with the whole like talking velociraptor in the plane thing. Like that's still, I don't get why they decided to do that. It makes no sense.
What do you mean?
When they're in the plane, like going there, when Alan like falls asleep, or no, it's after he gets knocked out.
Right.
He has like the nightmare that the plane is like crashing or something like that, and then he like turns and the dinosaur is like, Alan, and then he wakes up.
I think that speaks to, I mean, that scene didn't really bother me. I think that speaks to Alan's his kind of refusal to believe that there are more dinosaurs out there, like 75 million years later. Like he's such a he loves history, but he also loves he stays true to his pessimism. That's why Dr. Ian Malcolm is such a foil to him, because Dr. Ian Malcolm is an optimist, but he's an optimist that's not so optimistic. Every book he comes out with, like, it's the end of the world, but here's how to prepare. You know, with his face on the cover and all his vanity. But I like that Dr. Allen is a flawed hero, because even he kind of has to come to terms with that. He's stubborn sometimes.
Oh yeah, he's very aware of his stubbornness, it seems. Right. But yeah, he knows that they're in this predicament. He knows how to get out of it. He just wants to survive and get off this island, but he still has the mentality of not leaving people behind. Because even when he finds out that his research assistant Billy like stole the velociraptor eggs and everything, and that's why the velociraptors have been chasing them this entire movie.
Let me say, dummy of the year, of the decade. Why would you steal the eggs? Like, that was such a dumb move.
Yeah, especially like one of the smartest dinosaurs on the island, and this because literally Alan Grant is one of like his specialty is in velociraptors and like finding out about them and how they worked as groups and everything like that. And
you deserve to be an intern. Now I know why you're an intern.
Yeah, you're never coming out of that.
He needed to go home and get his shine box.
Yeah, like I know that.
Fan? Go ahead. You a Goodfellas fan? You know where that comes from? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, even when he had that moment of redemption, because in the pterodactyl cage, he's like, "Here, I'll save everybody, and I'll act as like bait and do all this," and you're like, "He died," and it's like, "Yeah, he deserved it." And then later, he's on the helicopter.
It shows him out of nowhere on the stretcher. I'm like, where did they know to find him?
How did you get him? Are you telling me
the birds literally ate him?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but in movie, what happened is he somehow landed, he survived and everything like that. And then the helicopters came and they went into the bird cage and went in and looked for him there, and then found him and then brought him out. And then they re-landed the plane on the beach, because as the plane's landing on the beach, as they're like running up to it and everything. So it's like the plane was there. They found one person and went, "Yeah, I think this is good for this area. Let's just head off to the beach now." And then they just left and then landed on the beach right as everybody else came in.
Listen, man, what I was going to say about all that was I like the whole thing of, because it works in a cinematic way that, oh, I'm going to sacrifice myself to save this kid. Okay, that makes sense. And he's going to die. And like, okay, he kind of deserved it for the eggs, but it's a noble way to go out. Cut to, they come on the plane. Hey, with the bandages over his eye, and I'm like, come on, man. But what I wanted to say was, I like the chemistry between William H. Macy and T. Leone as a divorced couple. As
the Kirbys,
right? As the Kirbys, you can tell they still love each other, and that they do have a history of fighting, but they've come together to get their son. Like they made me believe that.
Yeah, they definitely like worked as because they had their counters to each other a little bit as that divorced couple and stuff. But yeah, they had this single motive of finding their son.
Yeah, I like their chemistry. And now here's where you gotta like have a huge suspension of disbelief. When Alan Grant comes across the son reveals that, you know, he's been alive for like, he's been surviving for about 8 weeks and stuff like that. I'm like, ain't no way this kid will survive in 8 weeks. Ain't no way.
Like old supplies from what looked like a downed, what was it? It was like an overturned, I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, he just had like supplies like smoke grenades and, you know, T-Rex piss and stuff like that.
That made me laugh.
Yeah. How'd you get that? You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. But yeah, it's like that was the one part that made me go, come on, 8 weeks, man. You really stayed alive.
Tell me this little kid managed to survive. This little kid is, I'm trying to remember how old he was. 12 years old. He is 12 years old and he survived an island of monsters that are constantly trying to kill people that like trained. Well, I guess they weren't really mercenaries. They were just kind of people with guns. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you really had to throw logic out the window to believe that one.
I ain't gonna lie. When he called homegirl, what's when they were trying to survive?
Oh, Ellie.
When he called Ellie and the son answered, and this kid was about to get a photo of his mom, and then he saw Barney. Yeah, I walked over and watched Barney for a second.
Most realistic part of the movie is the kid answering the phone and then getting distracted by a TV show.
And then you while he's watching Barney, you cut to everyone screaming like, "Ah, get away! Get away!"
Yeah. As the cage is going in and out of the water, you know, and there's a giant monster trying to eat them. Yeah, and then the kid like jumping around and just dancing and
then he goes, oh, wait a second, I'm supposed to do something.
Yeah.
He goes find his mom. That was funny. That had me laughing. Dude, I love the final shot, man. The final shot of the dinosaur birds. I know there's another word for them, but just the dinosaur birds flying off into the sunset.
Pterodactyl like dinosaurs, because I know they're not pterodactyls, but they're something else.
Yeah. I mean, outside of the suspension of disbelief moments, which, you know, it's Jurassic Park, you kind of got to give it some grace.
It's a sci-fi movie. You got to give it its sci-fi points.
Right. I got no problem with this, man. I feel like this is a very engaging, short too, great action movie, dude. I had no problems with this.
It's good. It's definitely better than I remembered it being. Because yeah, it's only about an hour and a half long. It's you know, it's not that long of a movie, especially by today's standards, where everything's trying to bump up to that 2 hour and 10-minute mark.
Dude, I don't know what's going on, man. It's like everybody's trying to one up everybody's trying to one up each other. The new Spider-Man is going to be 4 hours long with the intermission. Why?
Yeah. You guys weren't able to tune that down or split this into 2 movies? What's going on here?
I know. Yeah, man. I feel like this movie had no frills. It got straight to the point, and it's a crowd pleaser. I gotta say, I loved it just as much as 8-year-old Anthony did. Well, a little less. I get it's a 3.5.
Yeah, I agree. 3.5 on this one because yeah, it's good. It holds up, but it does have its problems. But luckily the problems aren't things like pacing or action. You know, it's got suspense, it's got action, it's got good pacing with it. And the characters are interesting to watch and watch them interact with, which is something that you can't say for every Jurassic Park movie, where the characters actually are fun to watch, even when there's no dinosaurs around.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, the dinosaurs are cunning in this one. Like, I like how they set up the one trap with the travel agent. I don't know if he was really a travel agent, but he was someone that was tagging along that was posed to be more than what he was.
Oh, the mercenary that was like, he fell out of the tree?
No, not him. It was the one that was walking with them for a while. Was it Nash? No, it wasn't Nash. It was maybe Cooper. It might have been Cooper. But he was the guy that when they landed, they said, okay, where do we find our son? He says, we go, he's in that direction where they're walking. That guy. I like how when, the wife, Tia Leone's character, Amanda, was like, he's not dead. She tried to climb down and the dinosaurs tried to eat her, proving that they were, setting up a trap. I liked how they brought that cunningness to their characters.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The guy that was like below the trees and stuff when they were like hiding in the trees.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
But yeah, it's a creative movie. It's fun. It did what it was going out to do, and it didn't really go anything above that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, man. I'll let you take the reins on this one. Because I might not have as many nice things to say about this. This next
I have so many nice things about this movie. I love this movie. It was easily a movie. So,
all right.
So, following the events of Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, there are now dinosaurs everywhere on the loose that people are having to try and find a way to live with. We follow our amazing protagonists, Owen and Crazy Lady, who are now, they have kidnapped a child and are keeping her hostage in a log cabin. Meanwhile, even more, evil company, Biosyn, run by the guy that is really into whipped cream now, comes in and steals her, the kidnapped child. He steals the kidnapped child and a baby velociraptor from this area that they're hiding in order to use their, DNA to create global infrastructure problems with produce using locusts. And the people from the original Jurassic Park movie are there too for some reason. Okay, there we go. I think that's the synopsis of this movie.
Dude, I don't have a problem with nostalgia. I just have a problem when there's nostalgia and it doesn't make the film better. Like, listen, I like seeing Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill all back together again. I loved it, but
there was no reason for it.
It didn't add anything to the movie. What were you about to say?
Yeah, it's just it's cheap. They basically used it as bait for the movie, but they had no reason for them to be there. They might as well have been cameos that came in and went, hey, I remember Jurassic Park. I was there. And then they left. And they would have still had the same effect on this movie that they did in this movie, having a runtime of, God, how long was this movie? I assume 15 hours?
No, man. It was 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Oh, that was a long 2 hours and 26 minutes.
That's an hour and 26 minutes too long. But listen,
I'd go as far as saying it's about 2 hours and 26 minutes too long.
I'm going to be fair and say there was a reason they were there. I mean, they're there to help out with the situation. And yeah, it might have come off contrived, but it made sense why they were there. They just weren't really needed. I guess is where I'm coming from with it. I'm gonna raise my hand and let it be known. This is the only Jurassic World movie I saw. I was gonna see the first two, but then the day came up and my wife was like, "All right, time to go see it." I was like, "All right, let's just go." I just said, "Let's just go." I said, "All right, you might surprise me."
Right? Did it surprise you? Were you surprised?
No. Dude, I gotta go on a little bit of a rant here. I like Chris Pratt in action comedies. I don't like him in straight up action movies. Like I saw him in this and I went, I like it when he's cracking jokes in the movies and on the joke, not when hey, I'm gonna go with them. Please come back. I always come back. I was like, I cringed so hard at that scene. I'm like, come on, man, don't be that guy.
I love how he uses his dinosaur magic force hand on every dinosaur in this movie, and it always works somehow.
He gets in a squatting position and just puts his hands out like, hey, and somehow the dinosaur follows his hands. I don't know how he does it. He's Chris Pratt, so I know you. You're from Parks and Recreation. Okay, I'll back off a little.
Oh my God, are you Star-Lord?
Right. They just back off.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm not gonna say this film had bad action. The action sequences are very well done.
The 3 action sequences this 2.5-hour movie has are done well.
3? There's more than 3. It had to be like 6.
Off the top of my head, I can think of 3.
There's the locust scene when Alan Grant and Ellie are in the thing.
Yeah.
There's the huge escape sequence when what was Sister Girl's name? The black chick, DeWanda Wise's character. I can always remember actors' names, but not their characters.
You're talking about when they were fighting the ice dinosaur thing?
I don't think so, but Kayla. Anyway, when they were like at that, I can't remember the places they were at, but there was a huge, long action sequence of them trying to escape and get back on the plane to leave. You know, there's that.
Oh, you're talking about the dinosaur bazaar kind of place.
Yeah. There's that. There's when the kidnappers come to capture the dinosaur. There's
I wouldn't even count that as an action scene. All they did is they put a bag over a dinosaur and lured a girl on a bridge. That's not an action scene.
It kind of was. Chris Pratt was doing the whole fast running thing, and they shot at him, and there was a whole.
That was faster than a workout montage. It was not an action scene.
Then there was Ian Malcolm trying to get some. I thought that was funny. Ian Malcolm trying to get them out of the tunnel thing. He's like, okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna pick the one that's two lines above the 5, and then 3 lines down from the 6.
Yeah.
You have to simplify it. I can't say it any more simpler than that. You have to. And then he just basically appeared what the guy was saying to him to make it more simpler. Look, man, there's more than 3 action sequences. I kind of drew a blank because I kind of forgot about this movie, but there's more than 3. There's more than 3. I will say
one thing, just because you brought it up with Jeff Goldblum. I'm 90% sure that most of Jeff Goldblum's lines weren't actually written in the script. They couldn't get him to say the lines in the script, so they were just like, I don't know, keep whatever B-roll you have of him talking, and we'll just put that in the movie. We'll just him ranting about stupid things and everything like that throughout the movie, and just throw that in there. He's not going to say the script. He's clearly hasn't read the script. So just throw whatever he says in there. We'll make it work.
You may be right. You may be right. You may be right.
May be right. Life finds a way.
It finds a way. This movie found a way to be shit.
I was gonna say this movie lost its way very quickly.
Dude, I wanted to like these characters. I gave Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Harris characters some grace. Bryce Dallas Howard's characters some grace because I didn't see the first 2 movies. I thought the little kid was annoying. DeWanda Wise's character Kayla, I thought she was like, she's the usual token tough girl that joins on the mission. And, nothing can keep her down. And I don't know, man. I just felt like a lot of these people were like caricatures.
Yeah, that's accurate because there's no. These characters are boring. They just were very boring. None of them were fun to watch. Like you have the original, Jurassic Park tri group there with Ian Malcolm, Ellie, and Dr. Grant. But they don't do anything. They kind of just are there in the movie to make you, I love how in the theater I was in, it was basically me and like 3 other people in a Dolby Cinema theater watching this movie. And
wait, it was that I thought tickets sold on this movie.
Not here, apparently.
Wow. Okay.
Because this was low. I didn't see it opening weekend though. I saw it like a couple days later. But and there's these breaks after everybody goes, here's Dr. Alan Grant's intro, and it's like, Dr. Grant, I'm glad to see you here. And then there's like this 5-second pause in anything happening. Like there's no motion, there's no words, nothing's happening. And you can tell that's the break where people are supposed to applaud. But it's so awkward when you're in a theater where nobody cares at all.
I didn't view that scene as that. I thought that was a nice little reunion between them. I think 5 seconds going mute in a film isn't really noticeable.
Well, no, it happened for every single one of them. It happened for Ellie, it happened for Grant, and it happens for Ian Malcolm. Because even Ian Malcolm, he's like giving a lecture and then he just pauses. And then it just is a frame of him. It could have been a still image of him for 5 seconds.
The camera zooming in on his face,
right?
The light beaming down.
And it's like, oh, that's the clap break right there. That's so people can clap at the movie and then they don't miss anything. And it's so obviously there that they were like, oh, people are going to be excited to see these people back. I wasn't. I could care less. They were boring as hell.
Dude, some of the jokes in this movie are so bad. They're not bad because they're horrible jokes. They're bad because they're generic. You could grab them out of any B-movie action film and be like, okay, let's insert that gag. When they try to be edgy, like, when did you and Ian talk? Oh, he slid into my DMs. He did what? I'm like,
yeah.
How old is that joke, man? I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, it doesn't even fit here either, because it's supposed to be playing off the first movie where, Grant and Ian Malcolm had this kind of rivalry with each other, right, with Ellie, with trying to impress her and everything. And it's like they don't have that here, but they still play like they do. Like neither of them care.
Ian is married with kids.
Right.
Like, he don't care.
Right, but you still have Dr. Grant acting like this sociopath, like jealousy kind of thing whenever he comes up,
which he wasn't in 3. He wasn't. Right. He wasn't like that in 3. He was a very stand up, like, you know what? She's happy now. She's with a good guy. It's time for me to move on.
Right.
Even when the young man mentions Ian Malcolm, he doesn't say anything wrong about Ian. The little boy says he seems kind of full of himself, and he just smiles. Like, there's no bitterness there. It's just, he's like, okay, finally, someone else sees it.
Right. Yeah, he's basically just going, this guy was annoying, and now It's like, no, he's my enemy again. Even though he's married, he has like a successful life, and he has no reason to be going after this divorcee that I'm now going after because I've just learned that she's a divorcee. This movie basically put that plot line in there specifically so they could be like, look, they ended up together at the end. Clap, clap, clap. Aren't you happy? Remember how in the first movie people wanted that? Clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, I don't mind that at the end, but I don't like how they did it.
It was contrived. That was my problem with it. It was just, it had no purpose.
He went through all this nonsense just to get Ellie and Alan back together. Listen, man, I don't mind Alan. No, what I mean to say is this film did him wrong, man. I feel like they made him a little bitter and everything you just said, and I was like, that's not really who Alan Grant is.
They backtracked his character's progression from the first movie back to like the first 5 minutes of Jurassic Park.
And then all of a sudden, in the last 5 minutes, contrived, as you said, I'm going with you, Ellie. And then they just start kissing. That's funny, dude.
It was so stupid.
It's funny if in retrospect. It's pretty hilarious. What was I about to say? Yeah, a lot of the humor in this film is kind of forced. What was going on with the coffee situation? Because I'm like,
it was making a joke about how there's so many kinds of coffee, and Ian, Dr. Ian Grant, or not Ian Grant. God, I can't even keep the characters' names right. Alan Grant.
Right.
He's so like in the past that he doesn't understand what espresso is and stuff like that.
I highly doubt that.
Like that's what the joke was, is he didn't understand like the kinds of coffee that they were offering there. Meanwhile, Ian Malcolm's using it as a distraction from the camera and stuff like that to like palm the badge access key, which I gotta say, first off, biosyn security is horrible if they can't track a badge and where it's going at all times and know, hold on, this badge that normally shouldn't be used anywhere is being used. Somebody's security clearance level is off there. Your security team is horrible at that point. I have no idea how you're functioning keeping dinosaurs in an Antarctic cage at that point if you can't even keep track of where employees are.
I want to talk about B.D. Wong's character, because his character was just the most senseless to me. Like
Dr. Henry Wu. Okay, so to backtrack on this for the two movies that you haven't seen, he returns in Jurassic World as the main scientist that's working at that park.
Okay.
So after that, he is also the lead scientist for capturing the dinosaurs for Fallen Kingdom and everything like that. So he's basically being a villain for these three movies up until the last like 15 minutes of this one, where it's like, no, but I can be a hero. I want to save the world. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. They don't have good health benefits. I want to be a good guy again. And then he has the moment where he like lets out the locust and he's like, I am saving people now. It's like, dude, you created the thing that was killing things. How are you?
I hate when that happens, when you try to make the villain the hero, because you can't always swing that, man. You can't be both. You just can't be both.
Yeah, because it's not like, so in Jurassic Park, he was a scientist that wanted to, revolutionize science. I understand it. He's not a villain. Jurassic World, he's literally doing it for the money. Fallen Kingdom, he's literally doing it for the money. Jurassic World Dominion, he's literally doing it for the money. He created things that were meant to kill people for people to use to kill people. And he was like, yeah, this is fine. This is exactly what I wanted in my life. Keep the checks flowing. Let's go. And then in the last like 15 minutes, like, I'm really not a bad guy after all. Please help me. And then he has this redemption.
Maisie. Maisie. I love you, Maisie. It's a little weird, a grown man telling a teenage girl, I love you, Maisie. He didn't say that, but he just was very, very attached to her because of like her being a clone of, the other Macy. But yeah, man.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Also, with everything else that I've set aside, the biggest problem with this movie is there's no tension everywhere. There's not a single moment of there's not a single moment where I go, oh no, maybe they won't make it, because it's like, okay, how are they going to bullshit themselves out of this one? There's no fodder in this movie to be like, oh my God, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? The entire movie, you're just going, yeah, you have the main, cast of this trilogy and the main cast of the previous trilogy. None of you are dying. This isn't Jurassic Park isn't trying to revolutionize movies here. They're not trying to, be like, oh my God, I hope my favorite character doesn't die in Game of Thrones season 3. No, they're just trying to show you them with dinosaurs.
You can't always expect that though, because throwaways died in Jurassic Park 3. The main cast didn't die.
But there was at least tension that you felt like they could die. In this one, there wasn't any moment where it was like, oh my God, this might be where like Owen dies. This might be where, Bryce Dallas Howard's worst character ever in any cinematography might actually finally die. And I might actually start enjoying this movie for once. It's
everything was slick is what you're trying to say. Everything was just slick action.
I wouldn't even say it was slick action. There were moments of action.
Everything was too easy is what you're trying to say. Okay.
Everything was very easy. It was, super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Well, I like the scene where, and here's a scene where it came off. You could say in retrospect it was too easy, but I like the transition when my man drove the motorcycle onto the plane as they were flying off. I thought that was a nice little last minute save. Like moments like that if the whole movie is like that with close calls, I could see how you could build some tension. But I didn't mind that. That part I didn't mind, because I'm like, well, you're not gonna kill any of these people. It's Jurassic World. Spielberg doesn't kill people.
Except for lawyers.
Unless you're watching Munich. But yeah, I don't know, man. I looked at this as see, I like the latter half of this movie. The latter half of this movie kept me somewhat engaged. The first half, I was kind of looking at my watch, going, okay, let's get to the juice of what this is. I don't care about Chris Pratt talking with his surrogate daughter that he kidnapped. I don't care about Bryce Dallas Howard saying, keep us out of danger. I don't care about all of that. Let's get to the action.
You saying that you didn't feel for Bryce Dallas Howard going, why can't I connect with this kid that we kidnapped? Why doesn't she like us?
No, I didn't. I usually like Bryce Dallas Howard. I like her in The Help. I like her in some things, but I don't know, man. I didn't connect with her character, with Chris's character. DeWanda Wise's character has grit, but by the time she showed up, like when she showed up in the mix of everything, I was like, I don't really care. I just didn't like the kid. I just didn't like her. I didn't like her character. Yeah, it's like the original trio were the only characters in this movie I kind of held on to.
Yeah,
like I expected, Jeff Goldblum to make me laugh a little bit. I expected Sam Neill to, be the great reluctant hero. But even in this one, he's just a reluctant, bitter hero.
I wouldn't even say that he's a hero. He's just, he doesn't care about saving people in this one. He's just there, even when they're in danger and stuff, he's not doing anything to save anybody. He's just there. He doesn't even want to go with Owen to like get the baby velociraptor, because he promised the dinosaur he would bring it back. He didn't even want to go there to help at all. He just kind of was like,
say, dude, I'm retired. Dude, I'm retired. I don't care. I would love it if he said that. Like if this movie stayed true to itself and cut the BS, and you had one moment where Alan Grant, like let him go full asshole. Like, I gotta give the baby Triceratops whatever back to his mother. I don't care. Let's go. Yeah. Like, I would have liked that. I was like, okay, that would be funny.
Yeah. His line when I promised, its mother that I would bring it back. And then you have Ian, Malcolm going, you made a promise to a dinosaur. Grant's response should have been, I don't care. We have to leave.
Right. I would have loved that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of Grant I know. Why am I in this movie? I don't care. I want to go back to polishing fossils.
I want to go back to brushing dust off bones, please.
Right. Every time we see him, he's doing that.
I want to go back to my happy place. This is my happy place. You keep taking me from my happy place.
Like I said, man, I had a great life. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have a girlfriend. I was just enjoying life, brushing dirt off fossils.
Yeah.
That is funny, man. That is funny. Oh man. I feel like Ellie was of character. I felt like
but she still didn't have anything to do in this movie.
Not much to work with, yeah.
I mean, this movie, well, first off, let's get this clear. The major threat of this movie isn't dinosaurs are, everywhere in the world, which is what the threat of this movie should have been based on the trailers and based on how Fallen Kingdom ended and based on everything that they've been saying about this movie since they started putting it in production. No, the threat of this movie is, giant grasshoppers. That's the threat of this movie. That's the threat. That's why all this is happening, because this company was like, nah, I understand dinosaurs and whatnot, but what if we made locusts eat all the crops? And then you have Dr. Henry Wu going, that's a great idea, keep signing the checks. keep signing them. I'll make your, destruction of humanity monster that will send off into the world. What about dinosaurs? Yeah, I don't care about dinosaurs. No, we're making bugs now.
See, they promoted this movie just like you said. Like it was kind of like the Big Bang. I remember a long time ago they showed us the teaser poster where there was like a mosquito biting a dinosaur, like a small skin of a dinosaur. He said, "This is where it begins." I was like, "Okay, that looks interesting." Yeah, man, but it's like once you go see it, it's like, okay, yeah, none of what we promised was given to us. Basically, what you said.
What happened to the scene where the dinosaur interrupts the drive-in movie? What happened to the scenes where the velociraptors were loose in a city?
Remember that. I do remember the dinosaur interrupting the movie.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna see that at some point.
What about the Triceratops that attacks the campgrounds and stuff like that? Like, what happened to all these things that they were like, oh my God, Jurassic World Dominion's coming. Here's a teaser for it. And it's like, oh, that was cool. This is going to be a fun movie where dinosaurs are like actively living around people, and we're going to see like people clashing with dinosaurs and seeing like the government try and recontain. No, the movie starts off and they're like, yeah, we caught the T-Rex, there's no problems anymore, and we have them all in a giant biome in Antarctica run by the guy from the first movie that everybody forgot existed until you check Wikipedia to go, who was that guy? And then go, oh, so he was the dude with the whipped cream thing for the first movie. Cool. That's it.
Let me tell you something, dude. This is like the fifth movie we've watched together that has a Steve Jobs like idiosyncratic.
I think this is the fifth episode in a row that had a Steve Jobs-esque villain.
Not in a row.
Is it not in a row? It's pretty. It feels like it's close.
We got. What's that actor's name? We got Mark Rylance's character in Don't Look Up. We got the two. We got the one CEO from Ron's Gone Wrong. Not CEO, but the one guy that was below the CEO in Ron's Gone Wrong. We got this guy in this movie. We had who else did we have?
Plenty of it's becoming such a trope that I gotta believe that Steve Jobs is rolling in his grave because everybody's just turning him into a villain at this point. Right. And it's just like, I get it. Like Steve Jobs, ooh, he was a brilliant mind and stuff like that. He stole ideas from people and then turned it into money. And it's like, that wasn't evil though. His goal wasn't like world domination.
World dominion.
Yeah, world dominion.
I can low-key see Elon Musk in this movie, dude. I can see him behind that desk saying to the young black kid that was like his protege, saying, what, you don't want to continue the experiment? You betrayed me. Like, I love how he goes through the different stages of grief as he's talking to him and that other character says nothing.
Right.
Like why does he just stay quiet? Like, he says something at some point till like he says like I'm not doing this with you no more. Like, what is this, a breakup? Like, what kind of scene is this? Like,
that was just weird.
Right.
Then he's like jumping on the train and it loses power, and his first thought is, oh, I should leave the train even though I know all the dinosaurs are here. Because, I called all the dinosaurs to come over here, so I should probably leave this. And then the dinosaurs are there. His death didn't even feel... It didn't... There was nothing about it.
It didn't make
Simple
sense.
as that. There was nothing there. There was no substance to his death. It was just, oh, cool, the dinosaur. Okay, back to the boring 6 people that we've been following. Oh, cool, the one guy somehow traversed the entire base and made it back to them. His like intern protege that after he like was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was the one that told, Malcolm about everything bad you were doing in the first place. Peace. And then he joins the main 6, like a step away. Like, how close were those facilities that he just appeared there?
I feel like this is what happened. So hear me out here. The movie got close to the end of its runtime. The character somehow knew this and said, I got to get over to that side of base because I'm supposed to be the hero by the end of this thing.
Yeah.
And then just on cue, he showed up. I
like to think that's a little bit more fantastical. Like he called one of the pterodactyls and he jumped on its back and rode it to get to the main six and was like, here's my stop. And then he jumped down. He like rode down the back of a brontosaurus, kind of like in the Flintstones.
All with the briefcase in his hand.
All with the briefcase in his hand. And that was just all off screen. I just assumed that's what happened. And then he flew in there and was like, hey guys, what's up? Because then Henry Wu pulls the same bullshit move and just appears and goes, hey guys, I'm sorry for being evil for the past 10 years, but I'm good now, I swear. The clone daughter that you keep trying to kidnap and stole from us again is we decided that she's able to save the world with me, but so please like me.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, man, this movie, it's not horrible. I'm not gonna say it's a horrible movie.
Oh, I will. This is a horrible movie.
I've seen worse films than this. And for what it's worth, with the little bit of action we get, the action's well made. I like the latter half. I do like the latter half for all of its flaws. I give this a 2.
I give this a 1.
1?
This movie was just disappointing in all regards. This movie was marketed to me as we're finally going to see the dinosaurs interacting with people. I expected this entire movie to be the last like 20 minutes of Lost World with the T-Rex walking through the city and stuff and creating pure havoc and chaos. That's what I expected from this movie. I expected this to be 2.5 hours of that greatness, as everybody's like, oh my God, dinosaur, there's pterodactyls everywhere. We're dealing with the, ecological, fail safes of everything because we have just dinosaurs walking everywhere. Instead, what I got is a boring movie where two people try and, find their kidnapped daughter who they previously had kidnapped and were forcing to live in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere. That's what this movie was. And then the 3 original, Jurassic Park people were there to, figure out bugs.
Right. Yeah, this movie was just aight, man. I'm not gonna say it was horrible. I'll just say it was just aight.
I will say it for both of us. This movie is a goddamn travesty of horrendousness that should not have been.
All I know is my man Colin Trevorrow cannot catch a break, dude. He had a great debut with Safety Not Guaranteed with Aubrey Plaza. If you haven't seen that film, you should check it out.
It's good. That's why, like, I had faith in him. Like when I heard he was getting a Star Wars, I was excited.
Oh, and then
when Jurassic World came out, it was like, okay, this is a good step towards something. It's an interesting plot. It's something.
Right.
Then Fallen Kingdom happened, and I was like, okay, you fell off a little bit there, but
he co-wrote that. He didn't direct that movie, but go ahead.
I was kind of just like, yeah, okay, you fell off a little bit, but you're gonna get back on with Dominion, and he just tumbled right down the stairs. He like took a misstep on one step and was like, oh, can't do that again, and then proceeded to just drop kick himself down the rest of the flight. I am going to have a hard time believing in any of his movies in the future.
So you think you think he's the problem?
I think he's the problem.
People say they read his original script of Skywalker and it wasn't bad.
It had some really good ideas in it. It wasn't a perfect script. It had some really good ideas I would love to see used. It definitely felt more like a sequel to The Last Jedi than what we got with Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
But at the same time, according to a lot of the people behind the scenes of Rise of Skywalker and stuff, when Trevorrow was kind of there and everything, he apparently was very cocky about himself, feeling that he could do no wrong and everything, and was very adamant that, everything about everything he does is perfect. So I could definitely see him as being a problem when it comes to things, assuming that is all accurate.
There's a funny There's a funny quote I heard about from Damon Wayans. They asked him, "Hey man, why don't you ever make a joke about God?" He says, "Because I don't want him to make a Damon Wayans joke." It's like, you never want to get too cocky because life will make you the punchline.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. So I say JP3 wins out here on DPV.
Yeah, this one, Jurassic Park 3 wins out, along with basically every other movie in existence. I would say just all of them, just every other movie sidelined with Jurassic Park 3 beats out Jurassic World Dominion.
Well, let me ask you something, man, and be honest with me. Is it worth it for me to watch Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom?
Jurassic World is a fun movie. I would say skip Fallen Kingdom unless you really want to be able to say you somehow sat through all three.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. What you been watching lately, man?
So the season finale of Barry came out last weekend.
I heard that was dark.
Oh, it was so good. I am so ready for the next season. I am excited with that cliffhanger they ended it on.
And the next season is supposed to be the last?
I think so. I think season 4 is supposed to be the last season for it.
Okay. All right. That's on my list. I will get to it. But I heard, yeah, man, I saw some reviews and they say, yeah, that finale was dark.
Yeah, I can say like this season, I think Bill Hader forgot he was writing a comedy show and he just thought he was writing just a very dark kind of, action series, because that's what this season came off as.
Yeah, because he is a hitman, right? Trying to be an actor.
Yeah, he's a hitman that, he was I think it's Army vet that basically felt like he couldn't fit in anywhere in society. So he became a hitman until he discovered acting and decided he wants to become an actor.
So is it just him writing all the episodes, or is it like he's a co-creator of the show?
He was a co-creator of the show at first, and now he's basically one of the main writers for it.
Well, I mean, wasn't he like one of the main writers from the start, or is he like
I think he was the lead of the show and everything, obviously, but I don't think when it came to writing, he was that involved with it. Like he had his inputs and everything like that, but overall, I don't think he was like one of the main people writing the scripts.
Because I'm seeing a lot of episodes directed by him here. All right, man. Yeah, dude, you've convinced me, man. We could do a thing on this show where around the time season 1 ends, you could have Brad asking me, dude, have you seen Barry? Oh no, that's the Bill Hader show. I'm gonna get to that. Oh man, you gotta watch it. Around the time the season 2 finale comes, dude, you seen Barry yet?
You start watching Barry yet? Dude, it's so good.
Right, to the point where we're here, he's like, I'm just gonna assume you still haven't watched it, but let me talk about how much I love Barry.
Yeah. I'm aware of what point we're at now. And guess what? When season 4 premieres, I'm going to go, okay, so season 4 of Barry is starting off amazing. I know you haven't seen it yet, but I got to talk about it for a second.
I think by that point, I'll probably be watching it by then, because it's on my list. And it's short episodes, right? They're like half hour.
Yeah, they're about like half an hour.
Okay. All right. I'll give it a look, man. I'm starting to get back into my TV watching phase. I just finished up the latest season of Snowfall. Man, that's such a good show, dude. That's a show where the first season starts off generic, but second season on, it's just pedal to the metal, and like you could tell the writing really stepped up. Like some shows, you can barely do it in this kind of TV field because everything is expected to be great from episode 1. Some shows you got to give room to breathe,
right?
And that's a show that it was left room to breathe, and it just soared. Like I really love that show. I just what else did I watch? Dude, I saw Lightyear.
I have to see that one still. How was it?
It was good. They explained from the very beginning. I mean, you know what the film is if you're wise to the point that it's based off. It's what inspired the Buzz Lightyear toy in that universe, pretty much.
Right.
but they explain from the opening scene what the purpose of the whole movie is, and you're like, that makes sense. I don't want to ruin it for you. I'd rather you just see it. But pretty good Pixar movie. Pretty good one. I'm not going to say it's one of the best, but it's very entertaining, has a lot of good heart, and has a great emotional montage in the beginning.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's better than Up, but it's very Up inspired.
Okay. Yeah, I plan to see that one. I just haven't had a chance to go yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say check it out, man. It's just not, it's a really good movie. I liked it.
Okay.
Did I see anything else? I don't know, man. I think that's it for me. I'm thinking either Barry or Mayor of Easttown is the kind of show I'm gonna get into next, because I heard so many good things about Mayor of Easttown.
So I think you know which one I'm gonna say that you should jump into next.
I already know what you're about to say, man. You know what? I'll start it tonight.
Okay.
I'll start it tonight and see where it goes.
I'm going to be checking in on you each episode to see how far into it you've gotten.
I'm excited, man. I like Bill Hader. I think he's a hilarious actor.
Oh, he's a fantastic actor. I think one of my favorite things about him is on Saturday Night Live, how he can't keep a straight face. He breaks the easiest out of most people on that show.
I wouldn't expect that from him. I would think he would be the hardest to break.
Oh no, he is so easy to break on that show. It's basic. Just look up clips of Bill Hader breaking on SNL, and they're all great.
The movie where I really thought he really sold me as a comedian. It wasn't super bad, even though I really liked him in that movie. It was Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, that was such a good movie too.
Yeah, man. The one scene where him and Jason Segel, Jason Segel's talking about his wife or something like that. He says, "Oh, you want to do this right now? You really want to do this right now? That is the love of my life. I will end you." I just love how he goes from 0 to 10 in that scene.
Oh yeah. Bill Hader he's probably one of the better kind of ranged comedic actors out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you'll definitely agree. If you don't already, you will after watching Barry. That's for sure.
Now, do you feel like this is his Atlanta? Like you feel like this Atlanta is to him, Barry is to him like Atlanta is to Donald Glover?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
I think this is his magnum opus. This is his series that everybody's gonna go, Bill Hader. Oh, the guy from Barry. I think this is gonna be that.
All right, man. I'll take your word for it. All right, folks. That has been another great episode of DFV. We will catch you on the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe. Engage with the video. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, any suggestions you may have. What do you think wins out in this little matchup here? Do you think me and Brad are just tripping and maybe we just were a little too hard on this movie and there was an extended cut about 3 hours long that had way more action that we will never watch? Or what do you think?
Be sure to comment that you think Anthony was too easy on this movie.
Be sure to comment. Let us know we were too easy. All right, y'all. Take care.